Nor yesterday, not today. Mother asked me to go with her to the father or anything like that. Father is on oxygen. They keep him inside of the home for elderly people, apparently. Inside of the room is what I'm trying to say, on the bed with a nurse that demanded from mother to acknowledge that she is not allowed to take him absolutely anywhere outside, which I don't know, because I have no access. I don't know nothing about what goes on. I cannot come anywhere near father, anything whatsoever. And today I just came to pick her up. I went to pick her up. She didn't call, just like yesterday or the day before yesterday. Entire week, basically. She doesn't tell anything, but I go to pick her up anyways, and so I was sure that she's going to be somewhere near home for elderly people, you know. That's interesting. Varstveno-delovni centar Novo Mesto. Well, it's very, very interesting, actually. Very, very interesting. It's not the same thing, but the name is very, very similar. Very, very similar. Very, very similar. And it was psychiatry Peter Kapš who was prided himself that next to psychiatric hospital, which address is on Chengdu, the Chinese way, the Chengduiska, Chengdu, prided himself that he said it's not going to be the same thing when you're going to be coming to the father at home for elderly people, but it's going to sound similar, like the one that, you know, that I just demonstrated you, Varstveno-delovni centar Novo Mesto, and here is a Zavod za varstvo. Even this was the issue which psychiatrist Peter Kapš and animals from Novo Mesto police station in blue, and also those that are not in blue as an investigators, exploited to intimidate, because this is the psychiatric hospital they had me inside. Anyhow, I just noticed it right now. I came to pick up mom, and I didn't know where the mother was. The thing is that she's always playing a crazy stuff. So not too far from this home for elderly people where father is, it's a little store here. It's called Smrečnikova ulica, Smrečnikova street. Yeah, that would be basically, I think that would be actually here. So I'm not sure. It should have been right here. This is actually Adamichova. No, she says Smrečnikova, but actually it's Adamichova, I think. No, even this is wrong. Even I made a mistake, a little mistake I made it. This is the little store here, and what I did was, because my mother is always playing a stupid shit on me, she doesn't answer the phone, and if she answers one, it's always a stupid shit. It's all audio recorded. I parked the car right here in this spot where you see the arrow right there. Right at the end of this parking lot, in the last parking lot. I parked one here, then I pulled the telephone out, and what I did was I made an attempt to call and learn about where my mother is. Now, so the first thing that my mother assaulted with today, based on MK Ultra brainwash, the case is going to be, it's the type of brainwash Americans alone were involved in it. And this type of crime involved proximity sensor issue on Android will not allow phone to stay on screen. Basically will not allow phone screen to stay on during phone call. This is what Americans were involved in it, and they demanded from me for a newly purchased Android that I would commit myself to go ahead and repair it. Americans literally gave Steve Jobs is Apple company workers such as Tim Cook personally was involved into a repair of the future smartphone, which I would obtain through the mail upon my return to Slovenia. I have a whole different video about that issue. Americans from Apple went on to give a green light to deliver broken, and it was not only mine that was broken, it was also from the mother, which I never touched other than try to make her telephone work enough so that she could at least one for the phone calls. Telephones. This is the way it was. This stuff was ordered through the internet. I did not report it about it. Talking about no less than 3 telephones were delivered through the local company in Novo Mesto, which was involved in torture also at Žabjavas, a delivery center, postal warehouse. It was my stupidity because I didn't go to the store and purchase one. I just did not know how it works, but it was a special from the Telemach, and so it gave the opportunity to go up to Kuchan to the animals in blue from Novo Mesto to deliver their precious, based on MK Ultra brainwash cargo. Personally, Robert Golob was involved even into creation of this telephone through Emmanuel Macron. The name of the telephone is Ricoh Y60. It's a French telephone which had literally features integrated which were used during MK Ultra for torture purposes, such as alarm and other issues that were integrated in the telephone were literally used during MK Ultra for torture purposes. And I was promised the telephone, which costed only 30 euros as new, will be exactly based on MK Ultra torture bestiality. Let's leave this stuff alone. So I find myself here with mother knowing very good about the issue pertaining to the sensor on my smartphone. I even asked her many times, please make sure that once you are done with a phone call, to turn off the phone call, to finish the phone call on your side, because I cannot do so because of the proximity sensor and that kind of stuff. The screen turns off and I would have no ability to turn the screen, to turn the phone call off. So the first assault she have committed herself to was by simply making sure that I would be forced, because I have a prepaid option. It's very expensive. You get almost no minutes, nothing. And on top of that, I waste those minutes for nothing other than to accommodate Queen, basically. Best to my abilities, that would not even bother to call home on the phone, on a landline or anything like this, or to call me. But it's me, it's up to me, without even telling you when to go pick her up and etc. So yesterday she complained about how far is impossible to get to the city and so on, something I did wrote about. So that she can complain. Based on MK Ultra threats, mother claimed that she's going to sell the house, all that kind of good stuff when the father is dead, that this is not convenient for her and so on. But father is a special cookie too. Father had in plan of throwing me with the police into the psychiatric hospital, out of which I would not come for at least 2 years is what he claimed. And once I would come out, in my face is what he claimed together with the mom. It would be already too late for me. And when I would come out, it would be because he wouldn't need me anymore anyways, he said. This is the way it was during MK Ultra. So I am in this kind of circumstances, disregarding all the threats, whatever it was. I tried to position mom so I can go and pick mom up. So the first thing she does is she forces me to pull the battery out of the smartphone. Eventually she tells me that she is on the other side of the city, in what is known as a Tush in Lochna. So it's a long way I have to make rapidly, as fast as I can. I drive across the city on the other side of the city. And it is in direction of Saidlova Ulica, exactly the way you see it right there. That would be also a way I could make it through. However, exactly because of this area here, where heavy construction goes on, and where, you know, there is heavy construction goes on, a big road closures, they don't indicate anything here. You're gonna see this shit has been going around for already 2 years. You're gonna see on the telephone when I come to pick her up, I take a different route. I don't go through there, but I actually go through here like this. This is the route that I take. So I feel it's much faster. I don't know what the fuck is that, I don't even know, than what otherwise would be. So as I manage to get around the city and I get here in the bridge, get on the bridge, and we get here, we get here, we get here. Big fuck up here. I already anticipate it's gonna be impossible to get to the mother. Mother told me during MK Ultra that she absolutely will, I have to express myself like this, fuck me on a first opportunity she's gonna get. With the psychiatrist Peter Kapš, my mother promised me she will wander into the most impossible store to pick her up. Now that's exactly into construction zone, as I'm about to demonstrate you. This is the first video I take with a driver that started to drive on the side, horn in the back, start to aggressively push right on the side of the car, demanded from me to move myself out of his way. I told him, I'm going to report you to the police. You're not going. He said, I'm going to the graveyard. I'm going to the graveyard. Yeah, there is a graveyard right there, not too far from there. I told him, you're not going to any fucking graveyard. You're going to the police. I told him, I'm going to report you to the police. So what I do is I take the camera in my hands. I am improperly on the road. I should have been taking more my position. There is no reason for me to move myself to him out of my way. I know it indicates the ability for the people to turn right there, but let me demonstrate you. This is what I video recorded on my way back. Let me demonstrate you the situation.
So yeah, you can see basically that the road that you would use otherwise to turn right, as the man demanded from me to give him a space so he can turn right, it doesn't exist. Simply does not.
It doesn't exist because there is no space for two cars. And law is just law. And order is just order. Now, the middle lane is closed exactly the way you see it due to construction. And fact of the matter is that I easily could move myself out of his way so that he could proceed toward his graveyard. I easily could have done that. But the problem is, when you are aggressive, when you're disrespectful toward drivers, and you're looking for the conflict, and in this case it was a conflict based on MK Ultra's scenario, based on the psychiatrist Peter Kapš, based on the animals from Novo Mesto police station, who demanded for me to move myself out of his way so he could go to the graveyard, and so that I would acknowledge that with my behavior I am forcing my father into the grave. This man that you see right here, that I demonstrated you, this man was involved in MK Ultra brainwash and told me as a big supporter, this was a supporter during MK Ultra. This is a very big supporter during MK Ultra. That what he's gonna do is, he's gonna do this stuff here, the stuff that you see, to alert me that my behavior and the stuff that I do will eventually end up pushing my father into the graveyard. So what we have here is active stalking. The guy that would basically cut through a lane of other cars that had no business behind me. He cut past people and eventually came behind me and started to demand from me to move and so on, and would just not move until I opened the window so that he could give me his ABC based on MK Ultra brainwash on how he need to go hurry to lighten the candle on the graveyard. So this is the second shot that I get today. Boy, I was so angry about this guy.
Angreši Britov na policijo greš, lej, vidiš kako pas gleda. Sta dva pasa.
He does not give a fuck, eh? He does not give a fuck, man. He just want to get quickly to the graveyard. He's horning the other guy over there, basically saying, get the fuck out of my way. I need to go to the graveyard so that I can lit the candle. So I am here. I did move myself out of the way so the idiot could go. But this is a middle lane, and the middle lane is actually used for the left turns. Further, what I wanted to do, because of what you see right there is in front of me, is go pick up my mom by making a left turn here and go through the Blue Lagoon area, past this traffic, right in front of the store. Let me see if I can demonstrate you exactly what I mean by this. So you make it here. This is a fuel station, yeah? And now what you would do is you would turn here, you would go this way, this way, this way, and that's exactly what I did, and then go this way, and then continue along, obviously total closure traffic, toward the store. Up, there it is, that's a store right there, look at it. Except there is one thing, there is one problem I did not contemplate it on. The mama would load herself with milk, with I don't know what the fuck she wanted to. It was a big day. It was very, very important today. This is the way it is. I mean, and so I need now to figure out how to get to her. Now, luckily for me, there was no traffic here, which is something I didn't realize, but I had to realize really simply because my mom would just not even look at me. She knew exactly I was on the opposite side of the road. This is a copy-paste of MK Ultra brainwash. They had some other closure of this road, and they were doing exactly, including with a guy that you have seen over there. Copy-paste shit based on MK Ultra brainwash prior. And I go to pick up the mom. Eventually I make it What the best thing for me to do is what basically play you.
Yeah, this is completely based on MK Ultra scenario. My mother again engineered Drek.
Yeah, this is
the
a
guy
Drek.
who was
This is Drek.
in a hurry to a graveyard did exactly copy paste from MK Ultra. I don't know how it was, but they had also the road closed just like this during MK Ultra, and he instigated about the death of my father. The road is closure, just the way you see it, but
The last time they played with a road closure was in 2013, but it was other foreclosures before that, beginning like 2019, whatever the hell they were doing.
I saw
So what they do is they're using a road closures and jams, basically, even to force you meeting people, basically.
the mom
You're
over
very predictable with your telephone, with your tracking devices. You know exactly where you move through the city. This is what psychiatrist Peter Kapš and animals from Alomeester referred, police station referred to as the easiest way to stalk is through the use of the car.
there at the store, but if I would actually,
So you see what the hell this is?
I could
There is a like a wall in the middle of the road they even put in order to keep the two traffic separated. So I see the fucking fence here. I have to figure out how to get to mom.
do
You
anything
see what I
about this
see.
stuff because it's look what the road looks like. I mean, I could come from the other side and etc. etc. But now instead, Mama has to come across the street. I'm gonna demonstrate you. They created a big fucking mess out of what was used during MK Ultra also to intimidate with the father is dead. It's good I video recorded this comeback. He was involved in it. The mom is right there. She's right there.
Oh, the guy during MK Ultra was very nice. He was very nice. But it angered me the way this stuff was done, the way just move out of my way. I need to go to the graveyard quickly. That's what he insisted to me during MK Ultra. That's you. That's you. That's you doing this to your father. I have to go. I have to hurry to go to the graveyard. No, this is a nutcase's toxic, crazy, insane shit. Solely that is used during MK Ultra. And you can see it how it actually looks in real life, in real time. They interpreted this in the sickest way possible.
She chose to go to this store.
She's right there,
the
hiding behind the
earliest
corner,
psychiatrist Peter
and she's looking at the opposite direction of me. She's looking right into the wall.
Kap's convenience. A little earlier, she gave me a tremendous attitude after I called her on the telephone, for which, by the way, she knows that there is not even a way to answer on that telephone because it's such a telephone that Americans made sure that the telephone would be defective. She is hiding right there behind that thing right there. She is right there. She is
Right behind the pillar. She
right
is.
behind that
Yeah.
thing. It looks like that she has a lot of stuff and that I'm gonna have to go all the way to the store anyway. She's not gonna be capable to go across the street. Yeah, the telephone, as soon as I would answer, it just simply turns off the screen. And what she did earlier is she would not even stop the phone call. What actually forced me to take the battery out so that the telephone would even work.
Yeah. If you don't take the battery out, You cannot turn the telephone off. Telephone would not even turn off. The screen would not go on. There is no way to turn the telephone off if other person keeps you on the telephone. So she used the telephone to deliberately suck the minutes away and to jam the telephone so that I could not use one. So this is very, very deep shit, basically. Knowing exactly that I'm gonna have to pull the battery out to basically reset the telephone so that I could go on. Now I was using two recorders, and this has just happened, was one of the telephones I was recording with. The second one still was successfully on. No worries about that part.
She knows everything.
How much she knows? She knows she's just by the police trained tool, by the police trained dog. So I made my turn and I come to pick up the mom.
She went on to literally as the car was backing out.
It's I have difficulty explain because it's so fucking disturbing. But there is a Mercedes right there that you see. This is the third strike I get. The silver Mercedes right next to the pillar right there. There was a car parked there, and again, based on MK Ultra scenario, what I need to do is I need to park cars somewhere. That was a free spot right there. And so what I did was I drove the car not to the arrow that you see, but I drove the car even further from the arrow, like as far as I possibly could, right? Like the way you see here, so that I would give enough space for that car basically to, like this green thing, like, up to this green thing. Let's just see it.
Here. Based on MK Ultra, and just as she promised she would do. Car was backing from here. I stopped over there.
Yeah, exactly. We see the arrow. Would you fucking believe? So that I could back out, that I could back up with the car so that we could put things inside of the car. Would you fucking believe that she came after me with a shopping cart, grabbed the trunk, which I knew that's gonna happen because it was again based on MK Ultra scenario. Same shit again, based on MK Ultra scenario. And I will do this to you in the middle of the road where the traffic is. I will come from behind and did this, promised me this with the police inside of the car, with the police. That she's gonna do this anyways, that she knows that she's not supposed to do this. Police was making fun out of it together with the psychiatrist Kapš. Not on one, but on 5-10 different occasions during MK Ultra. And she goes and she pulls a dirty trick coming from behind. As I was gonna back out, I'm waiting for this car, like exactly where my car is parked right here.
Backing from.
Yeah, this is exactly, if you remember the silver Mercedes that I demonstrated you, this is what I finally, when the car pulled out, that's exactly where I parked the car. Right where you see that empty parking spot right there right now. That's exactly where I parked the car. And so by my waiting for the car to come out, based on MK Ultra scenario, this was another setup again. She takes the opportunity for another assault. Just as I described, come from behind, from the back, disallowing me anything. Grabs the trunk, open the trunk, that she's gonna start to load the stuff inside of the trunk, knowing that that's not the way it works, knowing exactly that I'm waiting for the car to go out so I can go backwards and park the fucking car there. So, if you remember, she was over here based on the camera. She made a huge progress stalking me over there to do her a little gimmick. Well, the thing is such that when she started to do this, I accelerated the car forwards, disallowing her after she opened the trunk with the open trunk, disallowing her to put the things inside. Step out of the car, and like this is what they have on the cameras. They have it on the store. They have cameras. I asked Mom on the cameras if you want me to give her one big slap somewhere. I asked her, what the fuck are you doing? And that's exactly what psychiatrist Peter Kapš, it's exactly what these animals here from Novo Mesto police station wanted. And I don't have the problem by saying it to you. What the fuck are you doing? What the fuck are you doing? Do you want a fucking slap? What the fuck do you want? What are you looking for? You're looking for a fucking slap. What is it that you are doing? The next thing I do is, just as planned, I back the car inside here, I open the trunk, I put the things inside, and then we leave. So these were the 3 assaults, with a 4th assault that took based on MK Ultra brainwash at the semaphore light. Again, traffic here, there's again a traffic. I am on the other side of the road. Let's see if I can somehow get to this side of the road. We get like something like this, and it's an ambulance vehicle that slowly go past here. They can see, and a mother all fired up about how, you know, it shall be with the psychiatry and so on. So you can clearly see that stay of my father at home for elderly people, and my trying to do my best to assist mother and him is just one big fucking gaslighting. It's all used to drive you nuts and even get you killed in a process. I told my mama yesterday, no. I told her, thanks, but not thanks. You are not going to be my witness. You are not going to be the one who will resolve this case. Nor your Slovenes are going to be the one who will resolve this case. They are not going to be using you, and you are not going to be using them to further, based on extortion, something that you should be jailed already when I was a baby. It's over. So these are 4 assaults they commit the day after. I think I did a very good job at exposing the stuff that went on. It is deplorable that Americans played such a big role in it. On every step of the way, they provided protection for Slovenes. But that's all there is. That's all there is in respect to the report. I ain't got nothing else to say.
Here, I stopped over there where the arrow is. She literally went with a cart from the supermarket right off.
You know, she does not allow you to normally function. You know, you understand? She just does crazy shit based on MK Ultra brainwash that some other person probably will really slap her in such a way that she would not pick up from that asphalt. She was begging for it since I was a baby. And it was so bad, including with my father, that when I was age 23, I went overseas to United States of America with nothing, not a fucking dime in the pocket, without nothing other than a fucking ticket to fucking nowhere. To do the job for the people with no education, without nothing, to live like an animal, just so that I could stay away from this shit. It's difficult, man. It's difficult to live with a person like this, that is supported by the police, by the psychiatrist, by the court, and so on, and is empowered, and is envisioned into crime, and is empowered, and is based on such a severe extermination procedure, continues to enforce crime against you. This is a fucking animal. No way, my mama. It's a fucking animal, not mama. They never stop. And with each generation, they become more and more bloodthirsty. With each and every one of their generations, with a progeny, with the daughters, with the sons, they crave for more and more and more and more crime, because crime is profitable. My mother is doing this shit since the father left the hospital. This is numerous recordings that prove that all the time, all along, it was exactly this type of stuff that went on. It was the stuff that was used during MK Ultra with all kinds of threats. The animals that you see right there support it. She was and continues to make life completely impossible. She is creating out of the most simple issues bullshit. Dreck. Whatever I possibly can assist her, and I did. For every assistance, for everything that I try to help do, whatever, is just a slap. It's just a barrage of slaps. And it's the most effective way. If you want to screw somebody in the head, there is nothing more effective than when you try to give somebody assistance, something, anything, to give him in return a barrage of slaps. Nothing more effective than based on MK Ultra brainwash. You can't be more effective than to torture somebody and then follow up through the torture. Yeah, this was not a torture alone. This was for a real 2 psychiatric hospitalizations. This is for real broken spine. Look, every one of these fucking videos, the people that were involved in all the people that you see here, with the surgeons, with the therapists, every fucking one of them was involved in this case. And it doesn't date to 2020 or 2018. It dates to 2000, with spine therapists giving a detailed instructions about YouTuber spine therapists giving a detailed instructions, literally surgeons giving detail. Even they took me to the hospital and explained to me all about how long the recovery, that I'm gonna have to have this kind of, it's called lumbar spine surgery. That's gonna have to, how long it's gonna be and how difficult it's gonna be. This shit has all been done already during MK Ultra. They brainwashed me with this stuff. Had me inside of the hospital. None of the stuff that I stated, I imagine, hallucinated about. Absolute animals. Absolute animals. And they don't slow down. They don't want to take the note. They do not understand. And when I say they do not understand, they should understand, but they don't want to understand. I knew that there will be shit. They'll follow up on me. I knew it. I immediately knew it. Already yesterday when I went for a walk outside, they follow up on me with the long lights they started to play. Based on MK Ultra scenario. From the neighbor, Alice Berger, who was playing with a car alarm outside of the house once I was finished walking, so the lights would go and trip. The cretin was standing right next to the car. It's a house behind our house. And was clicking the remote controller of the car so the lights would go, would blink. To the idiot that just could not reduce the lights despite my using a fucking flashlight.
This was probably Miro Berger, if not his son Alish, that
coming from illegal direction when I'm not supposed to even be with the car, seeing me with the fucking light will not reduce the fucking long beams.
You see the light? He doesn't give a fuck, man. You see where my light is?
Yeah, my light is right on the chest.
Yeah. I'll not do it. He will just not do it. If I wanted to change the position of this light right now, I could not have done it. Now you start to see why. It's static like this. You cannot. Once you attach one, it stays right there.
If I wanted to, I could not lie to you. It's recorded. It's all video recorded how they do this stuff. Stalking, intimidating, absolutely in every step of the way, especially when their ass get kicked. With reminders like this one here, for instance. Like this here. Like this one here. For them, this is like some sort of game, but proving that in return for the proofs that I publish on the blog, they have in stack, if you understand me what I'm saying, in stack, that means that you have something prepared somewhere. That they have in stack, in fact, a lot of crime, a lot of terror, all kinds of death threats, and that this is the way it's gonna be. That's how we shall, that's how it is done. They want to trade blows. They see this like a game during which they believe they're going to trade blows with me for the truth. Jerichka demanded from me to rape her inside of the home for elderly people and also outside of the home for elderly people. I'll see if I can access from here. There is a bridge right there behind and outside of the home for elderly people where she recorded herself with the Janis Ogulin and so on. So they see this like some kind of game in which the one wins, and that's the way they presented this shit to the mother. You remember when I told you about this semaphore light here? That's how Robert Golub demanded my mother to see things as. Robert Golub explained to my mom, you can only win this game. He referred to this stuff as a game. like you would go and you will play a lottery game. You can only win it if he doesn't prove you superiority mentally, basically. If you don't become demoralized. And that's what we're going to be doing. We're going to be doing all kinds of stuff to retrieve your self-conscience, to retrieve your self-confidence, I should say, etc., etc. They discuss these things inside of the house. And they follow up. When I came yesterday out, a train started to move. Brr, 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 based on MK Ultra brainwash. Right here at the end of the village, there is a spot that you can hear the train completely on other side of the city. That psychiatrist Peter Kapš was thrilled. Psychiatrist Peter Kapš was thrilled with a psychiatric hospitalization. He thrived on threats with a Robert Golob, guarantees on how I will be hospitalized eventually at one point or another, and was using a train not only around the city, not only on the way to the Father, like in the city there is a bridge area where police intimidated me inside of the car all the time, and then whenever they would bring me around about, they would be demonstrating me the train which was used during MK Ultra to transport me to the psychiatric hospital Ljubljana Polje like a cattle. Extremely discomfortable train loaded with psychiatric pills. I already told you about the stuff they did to me, and travel all the way to Ljubljana for up to 2 hours and a half before jumping off at some kind of a Vodmat station and walking to the psychiatric clinic to report myself back for the stay over the weekend at home. I mean, the stuff they had done is so fucking bestial. And it's exactly the stuff they prided themselves. Talking about the communists, talking about the rat scum, Che Guevara's from Novo Mesto police station. Talking about the Slovenian, Serbian scum, rats and rats, who prided themselves into the partisan movement and on a communism, while doing exactly the stuff that I described here. Yesterday when I came out, and I went out for a walk after I really exposed the stuff they did, they immediately went on and retaliated using the long beams. And right here when I came, which was a maxi location, a torture location right here at the end of the village, I could also hear the train jug, 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 jug. And then the train, which I really do not hear this, I really don't have this kind of experience. I could hear one actually horning also. Wow, 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 and so on. They demanded from me to see this as a game. Like a game, it's like a game. And they demanded my mother and my father also to see this as a game in which I get killed. Absolutely demanded from me to see myself getting killed eventually. Absolutely demanded, because this is a characteristic for the red scum, for the communists, to take torture as something completely self-evident, something completely as normal, and resisting to the torture, resisting to death as completely illegal. This harrowing, this communist harrowing through the Josip Broz Tito, through the Milan Kučan, through the Borut Pahor, through the Tanja Fajon, through the Robert Golob, through Danilo Turk, Drnovšek and other red scum. It was characteristic. They demanded from me to see a torture as a form of education, as a form of, like an instrument that gives you a lesson, as a form of lessoning. And a resistance to a torture. That's basically a will for life. And it became evident the same thing was with the Chinese in China, who were even 10 times more violent. They saw that as something that must be most severely punished. They had me in the psychiatric hospitals throughout the China and camps, and death threatened and so on. It wasn't only here in Slovenia. The stuff also went on in China. That's where the Chinese took over and demonstrated me their red prosperity as it is designed, basically, as the way you're supposed to. They presented their red apparatchiks as something that is like gods, like gods, like something that's not supposed to be questioned, something that is out there that always wishes the best for you, but something that can grant itself whatever they want, whatever kind of privileges, whenever the fuck they want. Placing my life in question, always questioning, basically, whether you should how I should even see this thing is. They presented themselves, everything they presented, absolutely everything through the conspiracy. There is no bigger conspirator in this world than police. During MK Ultra, it's all about the conspiracy. During MK Ultra, it was inside of the Slovenian shopping malls, inside of home for elderly people, inside of every fucking facility. Wherever they had the security, they always were using as security officers the people that they would watch crime, observe crime, yet indicate me like that they are my witnesses inside of the stores, shopping malls, etc., etc. Because they always wanted to keep your mind in question. This is the red, this is the communism, this is the way it works. This is the way they did this stuff. They demand self-failure through the ultimate forms of violence, through the ultra-violence. Yeah, they demand from you to fail, they demand for you to shut up, they demand from you to comply with the death. And any kind of resistance that you would give, they equal that with the violations by ongoingly attacking you through the stalking and creating all kinds of incidents which they preferably would use to prove that you are insane. That's a rat fascism. That's what that is. I said to myself yesterday when I heard that train outside, I recall Robert Golob, and his vision on how this is going to be game. It's going to be like a game. I said to myself, boy, I said to myself, you fucking rat scum. I am going to fucking annihilate you. I said to myself, from now on, from this point and on, it's going to be all about you, rat, and it's going to be about me. It's going to be about this case, and it's all going to be about the comunista. This I promised myself as I was walking through the village. You started to fuck with it. I said to myself, you need to break their mouths. You need to kick them back. You need to beat the fuck out of them. You need to beat them inside of the ground and hammer them inside of the ground and bury them forever. Just the way they were doing with me during MK Ultra, when for any kind of resistance, it was ultra violence that follow up on me. Death threats like those, you're never gonna come out of alive out of China. death threats with the Chinese coming here in the Novo Mesto and then boasting about the communism. Every one of these animals that I mentioned from Novo Mesto police station self-declared themselves as a communists, as a rats, and as a partisans. I would have a tremendous problem with the partisans like this. The address of Čengdujska in Ljubljana Polje, in the Slovenian Ljubljana Polje, is in the right place. This here that I demonstrated you, this is also located right next to the home from father, home for elderly people where father is located. It's actually exactly on the right place. This Zavod za varstvo, the name itself, which animals from Novo Mesto police station demanded from me. Just like I'm browsing here in front of you, just like I'm browsing right here in front of you, this Google map, just like this, is exactly how they were browsing it in front of me. It's interesting because now you cannot see it. How come the fuck you cannot see it? This is where they keep mentally ill people inside, and this is the facility for which they were grooming me. I would become as one of them. They demanded for me to be here before the building itself was even built. Absolute animals. They were delivering me into other buildings. Interesting, because I cannot find right now. That's interesting. I cannot find this again. What are the stuff that I demonstrated you earlier? There you go. This is where mentally ill people are stored inside, right there. Yeah, when it comes to the psychiatric hospital located on Chengduyska, Chengdu, China. Chinese learned about this. He did not have no fucking problem with the Slovenian psychiatric hospital located in the Chengduyska. You know where the Chengdu is? It was to remind me of more of the Red Terror. There is your Chengdu right there. There you go. A Slovenian Russo-Serbian Chinese project that did not excel in my case. Not even through Jew-American administration as I described one in close details through the Michael Dell. If you're going to Google my blog, then go and look for the Michael Dell, for the Dell computers, and you get the whole explanation how the communism and Judaism, how all that stuff is interconnected, how it all interconnected itself. For the stuff that I spoke to you about, these animals here inside of the Krka village, obviously I go out at night so I don't disturb the people, right? And you can see that at night, at any fucking time, and it was all kinds of stuff, even in the middle of the night, they continue to follow up and do their shit. For this kind of stuff, it was established during MK Ultra that it will be on two ends of the village that I will be assaulted. As This here, one side of the village, you just not fucking turn the fucking lights on, man. I mean, long beams. This was one location. Let me demonstrate you the location. This was all based on police brainwash during MK Ultra and the village people involved in it. That stuff be done on two locations. Once I am finished walking, that this be done through Alesberger. That's a house right behind that you have just, I'm gonna demonstrate you, whose father is a great communist and who gave numerous death threats. And also already when you come out of the village, that will be here. So that's basically on two locations that I be presented with the long beams. Both locations were video recorded based on MK Ultra. What is interesting that when I was coming my way back, this guy would just not go off. He would just not. There was others that raced through the village, and you also were using long beams yesterday when I went walking. Exactly where you see the car parked right there. I didn't even know what the fuck was that. Was it a Christmas tree or whatever the fuck it was? You see this thing that I hold right there? The idiot would be standing right there, and he would keep clicking his car so the lights would go and flash. And I noticed him doing this stuff. This was a psychiatrist, Peter Kapš, who was completely obsessed about this stuff. As soon as I came here from this corner here from the house, and I walk, and as I walk, I look at that, and I see him standing in complete night, though. But as the lights flash markers, I could see him. And I said, you know, I said before I pull the camera out and start to record this stuff, I'm not gonna make it, right? So when I go inside, however, I stop here and I pull the telephone down because all I want to do is, I do want to have this documented because I will follow up on this stuff. I want prosecutors to talk about these incidents to these people because they were part of MK Ultra brainwash. So it was designed that once you're going to finish the walk, is what Alesberger alone stated. The son of the communist that would report himself, and one of the animals who was used on a regular basis to hijack me to the Belgrade. This was a driver to Belgrade. Once you end walking and stuff like this, this is where you do this stuff. This is where I do this stuff. So basically you would go sleep, you go back, you would go sleep, and you would have a shit memory on it. This is a frequent communist follow-up procedure that also implied to other issues such as the internet. The other day I was assaulted by somebody who promised me during MK Ultra is going to do exactly as you're about to see also in the next video. For about half an hour I was not allowed to connect myself to the internet, at least, if not 45 minutes. Again. It was a guy who would come to Alesberger to visit him and said, when I will do this during my visit to the Berger, when I would be visiting him. Through the living area right there. When I would be visiting him, this is exactly what I would do. You're not going to be able to connect yourself to the through the Wi-Fi, through the through the Wi-Fi router. Police in our house was using nothing other than a Wi-Fi router during MK Ultra. Open wireless network, impossible to even protect with a password. You cannot set the password, anything on that router, whatever they have done. They destroyed me 2 routers, and I was not up to buying the 3rd router and spending more money on routers when they destroy you things before, faster than what you don't have. Nobody has a budget like this. It's like going to the store, bring it back home, and have it destroyed the same day. It's not about the budget. It's about also time that you can make it to the store and back and be thrown on MK Ultra, drugged up, and demonstrate how your stuff was destroyed. And indoctrinated on how the stuff will be used to destroy you. When asking these Slovenian animals about whether they're not afraid of the stuff they do, they told me, no, we're not afraid of it. We're not afraid of it at all. Maybe we get to see this animal somewhere. It's too bad that I cannot find him anywhere. His name is Miran Sodin. This is an animal who had me transported to the psychiatric hospital in 2024 on October the 30th. Last year. I cannot find this animal anywhere. It would be a proper thing for me to find him somewhere. So I really want this animal to be seen. There's no reason for this animal to stay hidden anywhere. So the answer to me, no, we're not afraid. We don't worry. We're not afraid of it. They went on. That was what Miran Sodin insisted. He suggested me what we will do is, we already have it arranged with the court. Once we throw you into psychiatric hospital, we will also confiscate your hard drives. It will become state property, it will become our property. You're never going to see them again. Those are the words to me of Miran Sodin. It won't be only deleted from the internet. We will also get a hold of your hard drives. I told him, you're never going to stop me. Why do you even bother with that stuff? No, you don't understand. This was a Miran Sodin. That animal who met me on November the 30th of 2024, and transported me to the psychiatric hospital Ljubljana Polje. He's going to have to explain about confiscating me hard drives for me to never see them again, because this was his specialty. He threatened and death threatened and death threatened, red scum, death threatened and death threatened, and did not even stop short of saying to me that they will confiscate my hard drives. All the work I did. That's how toxic. This is how fucking insane. This is the degree of the bestiality inside of that bunker right there from Slobodan Milosevic right there in front of you that you see. This Serbian bunker that you see right there. This is the degree of violence that was bursting out of this, and not only this, but also from Ljubljana, Maribor, Celje, police stations, in a parenthesis, police. This is the stuff he will have to explain. This is the stuff that Andrei Štefanič, Igor Juršič claimed me. They claimed me, oh, you will also take away from your hard drives. Negotiated this with the judges from Novo Mesto, Ljubljana, and demanded the approval through Tanja Fajon also, with the British Charlie, with the Charles, with Americans, with Donald Trump, with the White House, who also was thrilled about it. That's how they want to do it. This is what they want. This is their democracy. This is their Jew communist democracy for you and for your family. This is what they have in stock. This is what they did with me. And they don't stop. 54 years deprivation, annihilation of life is not enough. With each generation they grow, younger generation, they become more and more bloodthirsty, more and more empowered through the crime, more and more ambitious about the lie, steal, actually kill and then steal. That's why, red scum, that's why. Get used to it. You're gonna be mentioned on this blog all the fucking time. This is all about the red terror. This is all about the red scum. This is all about you who call yourself a police officer and you are wearing blue. These animals here, they literally demanded for me to view torture as a form of lessening. Always positioning themselves in the role of the righteous one. And giving any kind of resistance as something that entitles them to punish me more severely. And that stuff was actually supported by the Federal Bureau of Investigation, Central Intelligence Agency, British Royals, I should say, MI5, British Police. It was exactly the same stuff they enforced through the Chinese whenever they would hijack me to the China by giving me to the Chinese so they could do with me whatever the fuck they wanted, punish me, and by using me literally to present themselves in a righteous role, basically, through the killing, through the torture. Talking about Elon Musk, Bezos, Zuckerberg, all these billionaires, wealthy people that traveled to China, that were meeting me in China and basically demanded from Chinese to acknowledge them as collaborators, as collaborators, as somebody who is trustworthy, somebody who doesn't have any problem with them, somebody who will do for the Chinese Communist Party practically whatever they will ask in return for business deals and so on. The picture about the red terror, about the red scum is much bigger, unfortunately, than it would pertain only to the communists and or to the Slovenian figures. This was an international thing, the Illuminati thing. And in the Illuminati within the Illuminati circles, there is no ethics. There is basically barbarism. Their ethics are very, very different from any kind of ethics. There is no patriotism. There is no homeland. There is nothing. You practically don't exist. You basically exist to be exterminated. And Americans, Jews, and British, and Germans, and Italians, and Spaniards, and French, and Scandinavians, Dutch, Canadians, and Australians, they resolved this crime by creating more crime out of it. On one hand, they again specialized for what they claim would be that I would need more medications, healthcare, rather than the money. Search through the hospitals for the magical cures that would benefit those whose symptoms closely match. Now, King Charles, he's got a problem with the swelling, with such issues, with autoimmune disorders. That's exactly what they were playing with. They were creating chronic problems to which they search answers to, and for which they guarantee me I'm going to need them more than money. And on the other hand, they demanded the case to be resolved through additional crime. And that's basically between the war between me, my mother, and my father. And this is the easiest way to resolve anything that you own to anybody, That's the easiest way to pay somebody, is through creating such a crime in his home element, in his home environment, that he will be fucking drowning in it. Basically, as Roseanne Barr, a Jew, Roseanne Barr stated, you better shut up about those Jews because you're going to need us. She said, you're going to need us. Now that's exactly what a Jew, American Jew, did. What they did was, what American government did is, they encircled me with the Jews. It was all about the Jew from Hollywood. Jew here, Jew. Everything was Jews around me. Everything was Jew. All the witnesses, all the key witnesses, everything was Jew. So they positioned themselves in such a role, and also created Mac Daddy of all crimes through the family. And you know, when it comes to psychiatry and family, you cannot go past family if you want to fuck somebody up through psychiatry. He will not make it past. He will make his circumstances completely dependent on the family that wants to erase you. That's how those animals from the Buckingham Palace, those Saxe-Coburger, Battenberger, Gotha, Romanov, etc., etc., that's how they pay back. That's the money. That's how they pay back. That's how they pay back. They get you the fucking medications. Preferably those inside the psychiatric hospital that fucking slit your throat. That's a game with Illuminatis. I don't give a fuck. All the fuck I want is for you to know you are involved in it, for you to know who did it, how they did it, and why they did it. That's how they pay money. That's how they pay whatever they owe. That's the way. That's their way to pay whatever they owe. That's why it's a red terror. That's why it's a red scum. That's how they get them, and that's who got them on the picture. It's very important how and why. This is very, very important also for me to declare. I feel it's important for me to explain this stuff. If this man was polite, you know, if this man would have come to me and he would be polite, you know, that he would drive slowly and say, please let me go through, I have to go, I'm in a hurry, I just have to do something like that. That would be one thing. But this guy was with his car, he was just really, really pushing through and aggressively. That's one thing. I would let him go. I would be quiet. I let people go in front of me all the time. I don't have the problem. I am a very, very person that in a traffic, I'll do a lot of favors to the people in traffic. Extremely, extremely civilized driver. Extremely civilized driver. You're not going to find easily driver that would be willing to accommodate you in a traffic, whether you're a pedestrian or a motorized vehicle on the road, as I am. But this guy was looking out there to break my balls, basically, in a really, really disgusting way. Now, if you look at those windows right there, he probably most likely was even video recording me. He was looking out there to go and push the button, to press nerves, to do something, to do this stuff. As for my mother, I did spoke to you about well, I could easier just by just this thing here. This is pretty much.
This is completely based on MK Ultra's and.
As for my mother, it's not about presenting yourself as a civilized person, as somebody who is logical, who is rational in the face of crime. It is just as simple. It prompts me of importance when dealing with a mother, especially at a location like this one. it prompts me of the importance when dealing with my mother to accent to police. That whatever they have those cameras, it doesn't even matter. Maybe actually what they told me is that the neighbors have cameras in the bar or whatever. What prompts me is of importance that it's not about the cameras. What prompts me about this type of violence is that it's extremely, extremely important to accent to Slovenian police, to the animals in blue, that when there will be nothing other to fight with, there will be fists, teeth, biting fists, whatever the fuck it will be. But your way, scum, it will never ever be. And when I said your way, scum, I meant your way, red scum. Your way, red scum, will never ever be. The way what you consider as a civilized, the way you present yourself, together with the Germans, with Americans and so on, according to the law, according to all that stuff that you have, it will never ever be. You understand? Not like this, not like that, not no fucking how. I had these animals inside of our home, inside of our house, literally, with literally saying to me, this is law, the white paper, and this one here separates us. We will have ability basically to go on your side, but you are not going to have ability to go on our side. Because as soon as you're going to come on our side, see, this is the law that divides us. We're going to use the law to destroy you. It's important to accent that past your video cameras, past your laws, because the law doesn't exist. What exists is whatever police manage to collect practically from me to present me as insane. What exists is when they write you down that you are insane. And even if there is no proof, if there is nothing, that doesn't matter. Inside a psychiatric hospital, they wrote on the paper that when I came, I didn't know nothing about who I was, where I was, what year it was, nothing about what the fuck I was. This is the way they do the stuff. What matters is that past your video surveillance cameras and your toxic criminal relationship through the MK Ultra procedure and other people whom you jail for attacks, for the stabbings, for whatever the fuck you managed to push them into, they don't even mention anything about MK Ultra. What is extremely important is that you understand that I don't fake. For me, the main thing is that you understand that you will not get it right regardless of how you will do it. You will have to do it the way it's done, and no otherwise. For me, it's extremely, extremely important that you understand that when it comes to this here, with this here, or without this here, you will not cross this line here. You will stay right here. Even if it's for my mother and my father, if necessary. I will try to save my father, but when it comes to my mother, she's going to serve as a reminder of how and what must be done with the animal. Including your mother if it's necessary, to prove you that the same must be also done with you. You are animals. You're not people. And life is not about the cameras. Life is about doing the right thing. And even if if this doesn't exist, it never existed in my life when it comes to my rights. Even if this doesn't exist, I'm going to fight you with my teeth, with my fists, and with whatever the fuck I have. You understand? But you're not going to go past me. You can say this case did not exist. You can say whatever the fuck you want to say. But you're not going to go past me. Because when you as a human being establish certain degree of suspicions, crimes that you have proven exist, there is only one way. If there's no other way, we're going to fight this, like I said, with the teeth and with the fists. You understand? I don't care if it's my mama or it's my father or wherever the fuck it is. The only thing you guys did is you screwed those whom you claimed are part of you, and that's my mom and my father. We're going to see about the father. We're going to see what the father will be willing to tell, explain. And if the dad is not going to tell the way it was, he can go. The same like a mother. You're definitely going to use my mom to negotiate, and the crimes that you managed to obtain through her, because there's so many crimes. Every time I took her to any fucking place, it always was a fucking crime. Crime, incident. I just did not report them. I tried to protect her, but I see it's a scum that depends on you, just like you depend on her. You understand? Your cameras, whatever the fuck you do, don't make any fucking impression on me. You're gonna do as law is. You're gonna do the stuff exactly the way it is. And no different than that. I am no less than you are. Scum. Red scum. That's why it's so important for me to do that. Now, you don't give a fuck if you are video recording me or whatever the fuck you do. When you do the stuff you're not supposed to do, it's just as simple. That's what you're not supposed to do. That's all there is. And if you do the stuff that you're not supposed to do, at least try to be nice to a person. At least try to approach a person in a nice way in the request, and he will gladly grant you a passage or whatever. But that was not the nature of your game. The nature of your game is something else. You want to do something else. You try to do something else. And that's what I'm here for. You're welcome. Any fucking time. Just like I told my mom today, come and get it. In America, they say, come and get it. You have ambulance vehicles, you have police cars, you have jails, you have psychiatric hospitals. Come and get it. Come. Come and get it. I'm waiting for you. Come. Don't be fucking afraid. Don't be a pussies. Come and get it. Come and get it, scum. Every fucking time you're gonna try. Every fucking time you're gonna try to go based on crimes that you engineered during MK Ultra brainwash. You're gonna try to go, and you're gonna see what the fuck happens to you. Every fucking tribe, every fucking one of you involved in this, and it was a whole city that was involved in it. Just fucking try and see what happens. So many of you tried and nothing. Come and get it. Try and see what happens.